got a question for you. Why in this movie does Doctor Doom look less like this and more like this? Fantastic Four is here. It's a movie that I was not really looking forward to, but I was going to give it the benefit of the doubt. It's directed by Josh Trank, who directed Chronicle, the found-footage superhero movie from a few years back. And I actually really enjoyed that movie. This time he's got the cast of Miles Teller, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Bell, and they eventually end up becoming the Fantastic Four, or so it would seem. There are some elements of this movie that actually really work well. I think this movie is getting way more of a bad rap than it deserves. That being said, it's still not a very good movie. So we'll go ahead and start with some of the things that this movie does right, in my opinion. I like the way that when they got their powers, instead of them kind of accepting these right away, it was almost done in a horror sci-fi type of way, and I thought that was pretty cool how they showed that. The Thing is actually somewhat of an ass kicker in this movie, but you kind of only see that in the far off distance. They really don't show him kicking a ton of ass like you really wanted to see, but they do display that he is a lot larger than everybody else and a lot more menacing. I thought they nailed the Baxter building quite well. It was really cool to look at, and that's what I would think looked like the Baxter building in real life. When Doom becomes Doom in this movie, he actually has some kill shots that are pretty brutal to look at, and I was surprised they were able to fit this into a PG-13 movie. And that about does it for the good stuff in this movie. So now it's time to get to the clusterfuck that was the rest of this movie. After the first act, which really there wasn't much there, it was a lot of spouting exposition and boring dialogue and a bunch of actors that are horribly miscast in this film. Although each of these actors individually are fantastic actors, they just do not fit the roles of these characters they're trying to portray. And on top of that, at some point in this movie you can tell that everybody just quit giving a fuck. Nobody was having fun, there was no chemistry between this team at all. Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara's character are supposed to be brother and sister, adopted albeit. They have no chemistry at all, and they really never touch on the fact that these two are brother and sister. And if you're going to take a comic book and try to translate that to film, albeit a reimagining, don't completely forget about the spirit of the characters that you're taking from. The Thing in this movie was not wisecracking or fun-loving at all like he is from the comics or from the cartoon. He's brooding, he's depressed, he's just a real fucking bummer to be around. And that really goes for the rest of the cast. There's no fucking fun in this movie at all. In fact, it's a bore fest. It leaves you feeling down. It doesn't lift your spirits like most comic book movies do, and I understand they're trying to go in a different direction. But even like the Dark Knight trilogy, those are not uplifting movies, but they still manage to hit that superhero tone that you want to hit. If you're trying to make a standalone sci-fi movie on its own, then don't use a franchise like the Fantastic Four to try to do that. Doctor Doom in this movie, holy fucking shit. What was that? That is not Doctor Doom. They still haven't gotten Doctor Doom right on film. He reminds me of Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra. He looked that bad. He had powers that he has no business having, much like in the first two Fantastic Four films. I don't understand why it's so hard to get this villain right. He's one of the most iconic characters in all of Marvel history, and they manage to fuck him up every time they show him on screen. Then we get to the third act of this film, and holy shit does it get even worse. There's a forced, really short battle, complete with cheesy, shitty dialogue that these actors just don't care about at all. Horrible CGI, pretty much horrible CGI all throughout the film, and it just is fast-tracked to the end. Nobody gives a fuck what's going on, and you can tell that they've completely lost faith or any kind of inspiration at all at the end of this film. So with a few elements working for the film, but overall being a complete mess and a shitfest, complete with bad CGI, and a complete raping of the characters from Fantastic Four, although I understand they're pulling a lot more from the Ultimate Fantastic Four universe than they are the 616 universe. I still can't give it anything above a 4 out of 10.
That is one big
I wouldn't
pile of
recommend
shit.
seeing this movie at all. If you have to, wait for Redbox, for God's sakes. So what'd you guys think of this film? Honestly, the early reviews that I saw for this movie, I expected it to be a lot worse than it was. I can't say I completely hated it, but you pretty much know what I thought after watching this video. So please comment below, please like the video, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fanboys Unleashed podcast too. You can subscribe on iTunes In the description box below, you can find the information for that there. We usually review spoiler movies, or we do spoiler reviews of the movies that I review on here a week or two after, so check it out. And again, thanks for watching.